Did you know that I have over 3 desks in my apartment? This is turning into a bit of a tour. Stick around until the end of the video and it's gonna make a lot more sense. Desk number 1, desk number 2, and then desk number 3, the work from home setup that you're used to. Across all the desks, the one commonality you're gonna find is books. I have books everywhere. Books aren't sitting around my apartment to virtue signal to myself. I live alone and don't really bring people around. I don't read for completion, I read for understanding. You can see right here on my floor, over 80 books, that's my bookshelf. The way that I've been able to grow as a professional in software sales, the way that I've been able to expand my vocabulary, my Rolodex to become more articulate with how I speak, not using filler words, and just expand my understanding of myself and the world around me is through reading. Across all of the books I've read, there's one in particular that's been incredibly impactful that I've found myself going back to time after time again. And I'm gonna read a passage from it right now. With all of my books, I'm gonna read one chapter. It's probably gonna take 2 or 3 minutes. I just read it this morning and it really got me in the right mindset just to reflect on where I'm at. The weekends for me are a time of relaxation, reflection, and of course fun. I'm wearing my bathing suit right now. We're about to go hit it at the pool right after this. I needed to get a video in because I want to stay consistent for you. My mission is to elevate salespeople's belief in themselves. This video may or may not be relevant to salespeople, but overall, it's really behind the scenes, someone in myself who's really motivated, ambitious, and trying to find more success sooner rather than later. You need to develop. You need to invest in yourself. And one of the most effective ways to do that is by reading, which is why I read so many books. And I'm going to read this passage to you right now. I'm not sure how this is actually going to play out, or if this is, let me adjust the camera right here. What I'd like to do is if you guys like this style of format, this type of video, maybe we can start reading more of the books, passages, and get some subtitles on here. And I think that could be really cool. This is almost, in my bed's right there, by the way. This could be called the bedtime chapter series, something like that. This book is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's literally 35 pages. It's been one of the most impactful books I have ever read. There's like 6 chapters in it. And the chapter I'm gonna read is number 2. Thoughts shape circumstance. It's so easy to be wrapped up in the circumstances around you. So much of life seems out of your control. There's a lot of events that happen throughout the course of the day that are good and bad. For example, in your sales job, you could get a lucky meeting come your way, close a deal for 50K, promote and get a big commission check. Or you could go to the dentist and they say, hey, Trent, you have a receding gum line. You got to go get a $6,000 gum graft surgery. You're going to lose your teeth. That's an example of a bad circumstance. There are circumstances that happen to you throughout the course of the day. The one thing that you do have control over, because you can't control the circumstances in all cases, is how you respond to the circumstances. And that's why this chapter in particular is so important, your mindset, because so much that happens to you is out of your control. And it's up to you to remain positive, optimistic, even-keeled, and peaceful and calm and say, okay, this happened. How do I want to respond? And I'm going to read through this chapter now. I think you're really going to like it, and this will be the 3rd time I've read through it in the last week. So I'm really trying to grasp it as well. I even highlight and underline some of the sections as well. If you happen to still be with me, make sure to drop a like on this video below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you enjoy this format of video of me identifying the particular books and the sections that resonate most with me, and you like me rephrasing them and just reading them on the channel, let me know. If you like this format, we can do more of it. And if you don't like it, let me know. We absolutely can go back to sitting at the desk, talking about sales development, rep cold calling, and all that. Thought shapes circumstance. The mind is like a garden which can be cultivated or allowed to run wild. Either way, it will bring forth results. If seeds of intelligent thoughts are planted and nurtured, they will grow into a healthful harvest. If the garden is left to chance, weed seeds will blow in, take root, flourish, produce nothing of use. Just as a gardener weeds, waters, and cares for their plot, we must cultivate our mind, weeding out negative, mistaken, useless thoughts while encouraging positive, true, fruitful thoughts. Even good seeds, not continually cared for, will be crowded out by weeds. I love this phrase right here. Character is simply the sum of our thoughts. and character manifests itself in our environment and through our circumstances. So the outer condition of our life is always a reflection of our inner state. This doesn't mean that we have brought about everything in our life at a given moment. Other people have their creative powers too, which may cooperate or conflict with ours, or that we have earned every circumstance that comes our way. But our thoughts are so closely tied to our circumstances, they are inseparable. Even when events or situations are out of our control, our thoughts, reactions, and responses are still within our control. As a general rule, though, we are responsible for where we are. Who we are has brought us here. This is true of those who are happy in their surroundings, and equally true of those who feel out of harmony in theirs. The universe and everything in it is progressive and evolving. Where we find ourselves, we are here so that we can grow. Once we learn the lessons of a given circumstance, it passes away and new circumstances arise. We are victims of circumstance as long as we consider ourselves pawns of fate, tossed here and there by outside forces. But if you realize your creative power, if you assume responsibility for the seeds and soil of your inner garden, then you become the master of your own destiny. The soul attracts whatever it secretly holds, that which it loves and that which it fears. It rises to the height of its highest ideals. It falls to the level of its basest desires. The soul broadcasts its frequency and circumstance returns it. Every thought seed sown in the mind or allowed to fall there and take root blossoms into action, bears the fruit of circumstance, and produces more of its own kind. Good thoughts bear good fruit. Bad thoughts, bad fruit. The outer world springs from our inner world. Everything external to us, good or bad, desirable or undesirable, should be used for our education and benefit. We can learn from both pleasure and pain, happiness and misery, success and failure. No one ends up in jail by accident of fate unless they are falsely convicted. When a person entertains disgraded, dishonest, violent thoughts, they start down a pathway that leads inexorably to crime. Circumstances do not force honest people to turn to crime. Circumstances only provide an opportunity for criminal thoughts previously nurtured in secret to blossom into action. Circumstances don't shape us so much as they reveal us. As the master of our thoughts, we are the authors of our environments. As the sole gardener of your own mind, you have more power than any other force in shaping your environment and your destiny. People do not attract what they want, but what they are. Our whims and daydreams may not come true, but who we are will always be manifest in our external lives. The content of our minds and hearts cannot remain hidden for long. Fate is not something outside you, utterly beyond your control. You are your fate. Character is destiny. Your wishes and dreams will only come true when they are in harmony with your thoughts and actions. It's futile to fight against circumstances. You cannot change your surroundings while continuing to think the same thoughts that brought you here. To improve your circumstances, improve yourself. Self-discipline is key to obtaining anything you want, no matter whether your aims are high or low. Even those who simply desire wealth must take many personal sacrifices to earn it. Think of how many more sacrifices it takes to develop a resilient, trustworthy, inspiring, fully rounded character. We may have worthy goals, but our efforts will be thwarted if our thoughts are not in alignment with them. Picture a young man born into poverty who rightly wishes for money, but takes a shortcut to get it by stealing from his employer. He is only digging himself into a deeper hole. Picture a woman who suffers from debilitating health problems because of her diet of processed foods and sugary drinks. She wishes to be healthy and is willing to visit doctors and take prescription drugs, but she refuses to change her lifestyle. She can never gain a healthy body without a healthy mindset. Picture an employer who pays their workers the bare minimum and refuses them health insurance, paid vacation time, and other benefits. They wish for profits, but lasting success cannot be built on the backs of discontented, disloyal, overworked, unproductive employees. It is not enough just to have a positive goal. As the three examples above show, our goals must be in harmony with our thoughts, both conscious and unconscious, or they will never be realized. The interplay between thought and circumstance is too complex to judge a person's heart and mind simply based on their current circumstances. One entrepreneur may be right and honest in certain aspects, yet their business fails. Another may be boastful and dishonest in certain aspects, yet their business succeeds. It's common to say that the first entrepreneur failed because they are honest, while the second succeeded because they are dishonest. But this is a mistaken conclusion. It assumes that some people are completely virtuous while others are completely evil, which is simplification. Upon closer examination, the more dishonest entrepreneur may possess some virtues like decisiveness and efficiency that the more honest entrepreneur lacks. Final 2 pages here, guys. It soothes our vanity to say that we failed because we were too good, or that we're broke because we're too honest. But this isn't true. Until you have wiped every impure thought from your mind and cleansed every spot from your soul, how can you know that your sufferings are the result of your virtues and not your faults, or that victory will not come to you tomorrow? If you persist through today's setback, the purpose of suffering is to teach, strengthen, and purify. Do not whine and pity yourself. Learn and grow from your faults and failures. Search for the hidden justice that rules your life. Instead of kicking against circumstances, use them as stair steps to greater heights as means of discovering new powers within yourself. Law, not confusion, rules the universe. Justice, not injustice, is its guiding principle. You attract what you are, you get what you give. Thistle seeds cannot yield corn. Corn seeds cannot yield thistles. Don't know what a thistle seed is. That's not in the book. That's just me. Good thoughts can't produce bad results, and bad thoughts can't produce good results. Everyone understands this law in the natural world, but few understand it in the mental, moral world. A blessed life is the sure result of right thought. By blessedness, I don't mean mere material wealth. A person can be rich and miserable after all. Blessedness is a state of harmony and happiness. This is the measure of a good life. You cannot directly choose your circumstances, but by changing your thoughts, you can indirectly reshape your circumstances. As you change your attitude towards things and other people, they will change towards you. The world will soften towards you. People will be eager to help you. New opportunities will spring up at every turn. The world is your kaleidoscope. The ever-changing combinations of color it presents to you are exquisitely tuned to reflect the hues of your ever-moving thoughts. You will be what you will to be. Only failure seeks contentment. In that alibi environment, the mind scorns it and is free. It masters time. It conquers space. It outwits that trickster, chance. It takes the crown from circumstance and puts it in its servant's place. The human will, that unforeseen force, offspring of mind and soul, can forge a path to any goal and conquer anything in its course. There you have it. As a middle schooler, high schooler, we would have books. We would have books during class to read. And I never wanted to be called on because I couldn't read very well. So I know I wasn't perfect at reading there, but just know that I've come a long way and I wasn't always someone to read books. And by staying with it, staying consistent, you absolutely will grow over time. It just takes consistency. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found value in that message. If you'd like to hear other chapters, other books in the collection that resonate with me, I'd be happy to get into it. I'm going to go hit the pool. I'm going to go drink some White Claws. Hope you guys have a great weekend as well, and I will talk to you in the next video.